tapering one, and then throw a little top on, or carve out the top to make it look like it's got windows, and then I'll throw a lid to sort of make the roof. Well, that's the idea anyway, so we'll get on and see how it goes. I've made these in the past, so but I've got a different sort of design in mind for this one, so see how it ends up. So it's just going to be like a tapering cylinder from the base up to the top. So narrow it, it'll be sort of wider at the base. Get a bit of clay up first. Right, I'm going to do a bit of a lift now, and I'll shape it in a minute. Just to get the height. I'll leave it a little bit thick at the top because I'm going to roll that over to form the sort of flange piece. Slow the wheel down. It's annoying rattling still. So I want it sort of, like I said, tapering inwards, so I'll start narrowing it in. Try and get the desired shape, sort of lighthousey shape. That's about it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just sort of bend the top piece over to form the sort of gallery that you see on lighthouses, the bit that they walk round. So it couldn't be easier, it's just a matter of just like that, just bend it over. And then I'll throw a top and I'll stick the top on. So I'll just tidy that up so you see what the shape's going to be like. So that's the base of it done, which as you can see is not exactly the world's most difficult pot to throw. So that's that bit done. I'll just throw a top for it now. So I want the top obviously to be about the same width as the top of the base. I'm not measuring anything, I'm just sort of having a quick look, gauging it as I go. So I want to throw this bit quite thin because I'm going to be carving it out. But this is just going to be a dead simple little cylinder like that. Nothing to it really. quite thin, as you can see, because otherwise it's going to look chunky. So that's that bit. I'll show you all the bits later. I'll just check to see yeah, that's the right size, thankfully. And I'm just going to throw a really simple lid now. Might have a little bit too much clay, but I can always cut this down, no problem, trim this down. So with all my lids, like I said, just centre them flat, push in, slightly away from the centre, and up pops the knob like so. As you can see, it's much wider than I need it, but I can trim it down. Now it depends what sort of knob you want on the top. I think I'll go for a flat little knob. Probably doesn't look like the top of a lighthouse, but it'll do. So like I say, that's couldn't be easier as well. Too wide, but like I said, tomorrow when it's dry I can trim it down, get it to the right size. Just covered it in dry clay there. Right, so I'll just give you a quick look and show you what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's going to be the bottom, and then I'll pierce the top, carve the top, and that will be stuck on there, probably a bit tall for the camera, and then that's going to be the roof on there, which I can trim down. So we'll get it all done tomorrow and I'll show you what it looks like. Well, hi folks, I've just trimmed up these bits, turned them a bit. That's the base there. I've just put a couple of ridges in the bottom. That's the top, which I'm going to be carving out to put some windows in a minute, and that's the little lid that I've cut down to size to fit on the top for the roof. So I'll put that on my turntable and give it a bit of a carving up now to carve some windows in. I'll show you how I do that. Alright then folks, I'm just going to carve some triangular windows in that using my little carving tool, which is just a hacksaw blade filed down to a really sharp fine point. So we'll get on. I've not put any markings in, I've just put a couple of guidelines in to get the height. So I don't know how well you'll see this. I'm just going to cut some triangles in all the way around, and then I'm going to fill in the gaps in between with some more triangles to make it like a lattice work. Probably got the camera in the wrong place actually, but never mind. So I'm going to go all the way around like this. And then once I get close to the other side, just check just to try and fit them all in at equal distances. Like I say, I don't measure it out. You can usually get them to fit though. So this is the only really sort of tricky part of making this, and this isn't particularly difficult. So I've got a gap there now, so I'll just mark it out roughly where I want them to go and space them out. I think that's about right. And the final one of the first row. So that's the first row. So what I'm going to do now to make it look a bit more like windows is fill in the bits in between with an inverted triangle. See where it gets a little bit tricky, because obviously the clay's getting thinner. You've got to be a little bit careful. You've got to make sure the clay's in the right consistency. This is about, I wouldn't say quite leather hard, just a tiny bit softer than that. So, just go all the way around, fill these in. then I'll stick this onto the top and see what it looks like, see if it does look like a lighthouse. Two more to go. That's why you don't want to be messing it up. So this will be the final one. I'll take all the bits out before I stick it on that are in the middle. The last one. Right, so that's that bit done, that's the top. I'll clean all the pieces out, cut it off, and then stick it together, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright then folks, now it's time to stick the bits together. So I'm going to put some slip, put quite a lot of slip on the inside of this. No need to score it, I'll rough it up because it's quite soft still, the clay, so it's going to key and bond easily. I'll put a lot of big dollops in just to make sure. And then simply we'll just try and plonk the top on, try and get it as central as possible. Obviously that's lopsided. And that bit to me. Could be a bit more difficult than I thought this. I think that's about near as I'm going to get it. I'm just going to push it on with a stick from the inside onto the inside to get a better seal. Make sure it's nicely squashed on. That should do. I'll put a little bit more slip just on the inside. I'll use a smaller brush actually, just to form a perfect seal. And I think that's about it really. We'll just sponge off the excess just to tidy it up. I think that'll do. It's reasonably straight. So then the final bit is just to put the lid on, which I just cut off, and it's as simple as that. So that's the lighthouse done. Maybe a little bit wonky on the top, but it's as near as it's going to get, I think. So that's it folks, little lighthouse.